Hi guys, it's Marcus from the Disciples here, and I thought it would be super beneficial if I was to showcase a guide for the Rika SUNAVALON deck that I played at the European Championships. Um, so I'm just going to be showing off what me, Alex Robertson, and Ben Robertson were, just fearing and discussing in the lead up to the tournament. Yeah, and I think the first video I just wanted to show would be going first with the deck. I think that would be the most simplest thing to demonstrate. I was gonna say all the information presented like in all of these videos would not have been possible without Alex or Ben. It was pretty much a joint effort. So let's go on to the first hand. Well, pretty much I'll just be showing the one card combos, but a lot of the times the combos depending on pairs, and depending on what pairs you got, varied on how you play that hand, because you would change your sequencing just to play around hand traps, if because there's a lot of really good engine cards and there's a lot of pseudo extenders in the deck, so you would sequence them in a weird way just to try and bait a hand trap or play around a hand trap. But for the first combo, I would show just seed by itself and what we would do with seed by itself. Pretty much, I'll just do it really slow for the first one. So we normal summon Lokai, Dryas effect to add Soin. Soin effect special summons a Sun Seed monster from your deck. Since we control a SUNAVALON Link monster, we can summon Twin. We take 1,000. Dryas effect lets us special summon, and Twin effect lets us special summon graveyard. I would do Twin CL1. So the game plan was we did Twin CL1 and Dryas CL2. So this lets us play around Belt. Also, if they Ogre Dryas for any reason, Soin's got a second effect that lets us banish itself to protect it. So this was how we sequenced. Yeah, this was how we sequenced, and we summoned Thrasher because we need the healer to. We saved the healer for the Jasmine play. So we'll link off one of each of them singly, summon the Dryas, and then we'll summon the healer afterwards. Target in the Dryas, which lets us search a card due to Jasmine's effect. Oh, where is it? Here. So when we're doing combo, we want, the thought process is to look for Patel, Mudan, access. That's step one, priority one, I would say. After that, we then try to look for either, we kind of look for rank 4 access. Look for Strenna. Because Strenna lets you play through Dark Rune no more, and yeah, it lets you play through Dark Rune no more if it's tributed, which I think is pretty big going into Euros, as we expected a lot of decks either be maining it or siding it. So in this instance, what would I add? I think I would add the Snowdrop here, because the Petal gets us Mulan. Well, that's the idea. So you go Jasmine effect to get Petal. Petal effect to get Mulan. This instance, we would declare the effect of Snowdrop. This line's weird. We didn't have a way to get to 2 level 4s. So options, either, well, I'll show you now what I'm going to do. So Mudan gets us the field spell. And with the field spell, we can either go for the Glamour, or we can go for the Sheep. So I really like going for this sheet because I think the ability to tribute any monster that your opponent controls is really big, and being able to steal one is also big because if you go for princess, so you can either or because it just might be weird if they can attack over your Strenna. This is the Strenna. That's what I'll show you. This is the card's effect. So we could either have gone for this, and when Strenna is tributed, it lets us special summon a rank 5 or higher plant XYZ monster. I'll show you the combos later, a bit more in depth with Strenna, but we decided not to opt for this just because she is just more useful in a lot of other situations. If they tend to, play, if they play around the Rika Princess, you can't really, yeah, you're kind of more vulnerable to losing, in my opinion. This is where we just turn everything into level 8s with Snowdrop's effect. Let me overlay into Teardrop. We always put it in defense position to play around, what's the card? Lightning Storm. And majority of the time it's fine. We summon Melius. Melius reborns back Loci. So this is board 1. The alternative version of this board I can show you now. So this board is optimal for Sprite, for sure. You could argue that this board might not be as great versus Danger Tears, which is definitely understandable because you have no way to negate monster effects. So another alternative is, yeah, so essentially you get into we'll put this back to the extra deck, and we'll go back to this step here. Yeah, we should be on 1300 too, which we gained from. So instead of getting a sheet, we would go for a princess. Premiere by setting Rika Glamour. So what Rika Glamour does, we contribute a monster and add one plant monster with, we pretty much get to add 2, or we can just activate and add 1. So I'm just thinking, do we need to tribute, special summon both, go into Strenna, get to search back, make level 8. Yeah, so an alternative to this board would be to tribute the Dryas, to search both of these. Primula's effect is it can special summon itself if you tribute a monster you control. Then we can use Princess's effect to special summon itself. It's just got a really cool effect where it just summons itself for free, but you're locked into plants. You could overlay into Strenna here. No, we would detach Princess instead. Yeah, sorry about the lag. It's DB. I thought it would be easier to show on DB than what's the word? In person, because at least this way you get to read all the cards. But there is just a bit of lag. So we detach Princess because we're going to use Princess to tribute Strenna and negate monster effect. But with this line, we don't really get to use this effect to make 8. So with this line, we don't really get to... Wrong one. So with this line, we don't really get to use con because we're gonna end up tributing Strenna for the princess effect. With princess, we can just add the card for follow up. We can just add the glamour back. So what's good about this board is that the first attack has to be on a Jasmine, because Jasmine has like another effect which says if your life points are higher than your opponent's, discard and any plant monster points, you can't be destroyed by battle. So Strenna can't be destroyed by battle instantly, and when they try to attack over the Jasmine, you also have a Sorin to protect it. So with this board, you have Strenna to you have Princess to negate a monster effect. You have Teardrop to destroy a monster, so you kind of just use this first Tears to stop Curious. And then when Queen is tributed for Princess, you then have access to a second monster negate. And yeah, and sometimes it's just enough versus Tears, but that's, I would say, like a weak combo line, and that's with only one seed, and I can just do a different. I can show you the combo that I showed on Farfa's YouTube video, and this is the one that you make majority of the time just because of how your hands look. And yeah, this is definitely one of them. It could be, yeah, this is definitely one of the hands that does do it. It's very common you see like a pairing with a way to Sun Seed plus Rika monster. To be fair, I'll make it even more, what's the word? I'll even make it even more worse by just, instead of die, I'll use Seed, just for demonstrational purposes. So hopefully I don't need to show the full board, just so I can skip through. So we'll go Seed for Dryas, and then we'll add Soin, and then we'll go Seed, Summon back Twin, and we're going to link everything off. We're pretty much going to do what we did before, which was Summon Dryas, Summon the Thrasher with it. Yeah, it's just for anyone that's confused. We're pretty much ending on the same thing that we did before in the first line. So this is what it would look like. And in this case, Healer. So now the end board we want to look for, I'll just write it down, just so it makes it easier when trying to figure out what you want to play, what you want your play to be. So end board Strenna plus XYZ plus Bang plus Trap. Where XYZ? Rank 9. Put a hyper. That's what we're trying to look for. So we want a Snowdrop for this, because we make at some point we have 4 level 4s, and then we did a play where we use Jasmine to tribute. That one. And we use Petal Effect to search Mudan. And we can use Glamour to search. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, we search Princess. We also have Princess engraved with this board, which is pretty sick. So here we would tribute Dryas for Snowdrop and Mudan. Go for Con, set the sheet. Since we've already used Glamour, we special summon Princess here. Oh, sorry. Make everything 4. Overlay into Strenna. And we add back Mudan. So we tribute it. And then we use Strenner's effect to, oh sorry, we keep, we don't activate Con just yet. So we hold the Con for, to trigger Hyperton? I don't know, I really know how to pronounce it. With these two, we then make Melius special summons back the guy, and then we make Bengal Lancer. They're both still level 4s, so we can make Strenner, and we did activate Snowdrop's effect. Yeah, and just move these to play around Relinquish Anima in case they do play it. And this is when you activate Con, and this is when you declare Hyperton's effect to get the spell negate. And this is where you set sheet. So like we've got so many interruptions that we don't really lose. Going first without siding, because we have Dark Ruler only really trades with 2 cards. It trades with the Hyper and Bengal Lancer, but after that we've got Bang Bounce, we've got Hyper, Spell, or Monster, Negate. We've got Con Sheet, which pretty much says, you know, we Con and Sheet, we tribute 1 and steal 1, so that's 4 interruptions. We've got Princess to negate a monster effect, and then we also have, when the Strenner is tributed, we then go for the Teardrop. So the idea of not doing all of this, because I've seen some people, they will end on Teardrop and Hyper, but it just makes your play a lot worse into Dark Ruler no more, for sure. And this doesn't negate Nibiru too. This only says during, what does it say? During your opponent's turn. So it's monster effect only, yeah. You can't, it's not like Princess, which can negate a monster effect on your player's turn. So that was the board. So the theory behind the boards is when playing it, all 3 of us wanted to goals. Going first. Play around Dark Ruler no more. Play around Super Poly. Because that's what we thought a lot of, this is for sure tier list will be on this, and we just thought a lot of people would be on Dark Ruler no more just because of how powerful it would be against Sprite. Like, a lot of people, I thought it was one of the best cards and out of the Sprite board, so I can imagine a lot of people went down this route. What else? But yeah, so this is, you kind of would think about on what to negate. So this is what you hold your negates for. So first Sprite, watch out for Gigantic, because Gigantic is Gigantic stops your, what is it, the Petal coming back, which is so big. A lot of times you didn't mind too much if they put a monster on board. They can put a monster on board, and you kind of get it with Hyper. Actually, not Hyper. They can put a monster on board, but this is the main thing to watch out for. So always trying to hold in the gate to try and stop Gigantic, of course. Sometimes negating a Jet is alright in case you're scared of Smashers, because Smashers can sometimes trade with any of these interrupts. If you try to negate, or if you haven't used Bang yet and they go Jet, add Smashers, the Smashers can play around Bengal Lancer, so we hold the Princess for that. So verse tiers, the idea is to watch out for Curious. So you can see, like, when tiers make a play, you can see they're trying to just get 3 darks on board to make Curious. So don't negate the first thing, let them commit a couple monsters, and then just before they're about to Curious, that's when you can start tributing, stealing stuff. I would say also watch out for Mud Dragon, because Mud Dragon kind of turns off your tribute stuff like Bengal Lancer and Sheet. So you can do something where they try to activate a monster effect, and you kind of Princess tribute the Mud Dragon and negate a monster effect. Or what you can do is hold monster negates for tiers engraved. Like they only have 3-tier grave effects. Or you can hold for Kitalos. Hold for Kit. Because I only have one Kit. So I would say those are like the standard 2 combos. I can show like you how we can just do a test hand, because you can kind of play around through hand traps. Can play through hand traps pretty well. So this is one of the reasons why I like sewing, because even if you don't see seed, you could do plays where like you just normal summon a Rika card, get to Dryas, Sowin, and then you get 2 monsters, because Sowin special summons 1 and Dryas special summons 1 from its effect. You're lucky here. We're lucky here because we have tactics to play. If they do hand trap us, that's not imperm, we can kind of steal a card. So how would I play this hand? Yeah, I'm trying to think of the sequencing. We could just go Glamour, add Petal. I think that's alright. And this is what I would do. So we don't actually need to get to seed here. Like, Petal plus Sowin is very powerful. So we go normal summon Petal here. If they hand trap us on the Petal, we can just make Dryas, Sowin, get 3 monsters, get to Jasmine, and we have Mudan access, so we don't actually get punished by a hand trap with this line. But if they didn't have a hand trap, we would go for Princess just to make sure. And this is what I would do. I would go for Princess, Tribute, Negate, Summon Dryas. And this is the play I was talking about. So we take 1,000 from this, and we special summon a seed. But this way we also get to Dryas' effect. We special summon Thrasher. And then you're kind of in the same you're in the same state as you was with just the seed before. So this way we can just we can link away Petal for Dryas, because it's only 1 level 4 lower. But for healer, it can only be the Loci. So this is the sequencing that we would do for this hand. So like we already have a lot of stuff. We've got a Mudan already. We've got a Primula. We've got a Princess Engraved. So we kind of, the only thing we're missing is Snowdrop. So we can add a Snowdrop here. We can add a lot of stuff here. So we can just add a Snowdrop. And what we special summon is pretty irrelevant. So one cool thing that we could do here. So since we already have a Dryas. Since we already have a Dryas, we can summon Twin. Because Twin in this instance would be a +1. Because its condition is when it's normal or special summon, we just need to have a SUNAVALON link monsters. But since we already have a Dryas here, we kind of get 1 extra monster. And what this 1 extra monster means is that we don't need to use Melius. And this, we can just hold this for turn 3. We can just make Bengal Lancer with 4 monsters. 3 monsters, sorry, which I'll show you here. So I'll tribute the Snowdrop for Mudan. You could argue to summon Primula, and you can argue to chain block Mudan if you wanted to. So chain link 1, Mudan, chain link 2, Primula. And then you could just search for everything, but it should be, yeah, we should, I should be just going for the same, well, I'll probably keep the same hand for the Hypertron. Make everything 4. Strenna, tribute, and we're just going to end up tributing this for the Mudan. So I'm just going to special summon Mudan again, because we just use this on special summon effect. We didn't actually use its tribute effect. So this is where we go for hyper. Then we overlay these two into Strenna. So we made everything 4. So we don't we have Glamour, but sometimes you don't have a Glamour engrave and you have to attach a sew-in. Sew-in's the one we don't really equip to hyper because it has like a really nice graveyard effect where it protects a link monster. So if they do try to bait your Bengal Lancer with like a Bigfoot and they forget this guy's a second effect, what's the word? If they forget this guy's a second effect, you just plus in that way. Because there's a lot of monsters that in this deck that just have bottom text effects, which is just really cool. I think that's what makes the deck like really good. Every card has like an additional effect that it didn't really need. And yeah, we just pretty much got to the same board, also with the ability of playing through Nibiru, which I saw some people say this deck loses to Nibiru. You can there's with 5 cards in hand, there's a lot of ways to not lose to Nibiru. And since we have an extra monster on board because of Twin, instead of making them Elias, we could just send all 3 for Bengal Lancer. And that was one of the hands where we didn't open seed, but we got to the full board. But yeah, I'll just try and show like a different hand instead of the simple seed combo hands. But the seed combo hands are like very likely. So this is seed by itself with Twin. We can normal summon Twin here and get an additional monster on board. So I was gonna say, look at the hands I'm drawing. Like one of the big things that made me want to play this deck, before you know if you're first or second, each hand looks good going first and going second. And I think that's one of the big reasons why like all 3 of us were able to top. Even though if we lost the dice roll, we had so many good cards where like we can win games going first and going second, which is so big. So this hand is, I would say, worse. We didn't see seed access, but I can show you how I play it. So the goal of this hand is maybe we want okay, so this hand we can actually get to seed. So we actually go for Patel here. Can we actually get to seed? Because there's some hands where you can get what's the word? Princess and Mudan. Just trying to think. So it's different. So we have different options here. We can either go Con into Glamour or where is it? The Sheet. Right? Sheet basically means we can steal 2. Is really good into Sprite because we get rid of 2 monsters. Double 2s. But on the other hand, Strenna plus Princess is 2 monster negates, which is like really good into tiers. So it kind of just depends what deck you're against. So what would I go for here? So I think it doesn't. So I think with the Patel, we actually go for Mudan. And now we pretty much have access to like both spell and trap cards. So I'd say let's just go for the Sheet in case we get Veil of the Ash or Impermanent. Oh, sorry, Veil of the Ash on the Mudan, because Mudan is a lot of people have started holding the gates for Mudan, so we kind of have access to both. But I would say this is what a typical hand looks. It's what some of the hands look like. The below average hands look like this, which I think are just really, I think this just speaks volumes on what the deck can do. So we go for Princess here, and then Primula special summons itself on this effect. And then I would add back the Mulan. Okay, So this would be like, with the engine cards, this would be our end board. Like, even though it isn't as strong, it's like enough to win games. Because you have Sheet to tribute 1 and steal 1. You have Princess to negate a monster effect. And you have a choice with Strenna, either into Teardrop or Hyper. And even if they do break it, you have so much follow-up. So you have, if they break it, you have Petal, which comes back in the end phase and gets you another monster. And you have Mudan, which searches you another Rika spell or trap card. And then you have Konkon. If you have Mudan and Konkon, let's say the Konkon stays aboard, you can tribute one of the monsters as cost. But that's not even talking about the other 3 engine cards that we have. So a lot of games would end up like this. And it's I don't think I ever lose these games going first, because like it's just very strong. It takes a lot for them to yeah, it just I don't think there's many hands your opponent can draw which can break the board and kill you. It's just they might be able to break the board, but they can't kill you. And your turn 3, you draw an additional card, and you just have so much to push back with. Let me see if there's any more like weird hands, because we can argue like that hand wasn't the best. This hand's really great. This hand also plays through hand traps pretty well. I don't think there's like a weird line I could show you to play through hand traps, but let me try and find a weird hand. I would say this is like more of a weaker hand, which I can show how I would play it. Yeah, you would go for... Yeah, so I would go for Petal here. And I wouldn't activate Konkon initially. Actually, maybe you do. Yeah, just to play around Gamma. If they do have Gamma, it's not the worst to activate Konkon early, in case they decide to destroy the Petal. So here you can't go Glamour into, what's the word? You can't go Glamour into 2 level 4s. So here we will just pretty much be going Mudan. We'll pretty much be adding Mudan. And from Mudan, I think we would add Konkon. I know it's like, maybe do we add Konkon? Sometimes you can add Konkon back. I would say maybe not this hand, but some hands you tend to just hold Konkon, because there's a play where it's not a hard once per turn to tribute. So if your hand's really good, for some reason, let's say they make a board, you can use the existing Konkon to tribute, and then you can activate a second Konkon to tribute another monster. But I think our hand's weak, we just add the Glamour here. So this is, with the engine cards that we draw was weak, but if, so this is like a bit of probability, but if we have little engine in our hands, we have a higher probability of drawing our non-engine cards to be in our hand. So even though we didn't see Seed, it's probably likely that our hand will contain either Rivalry or Imperm or something. Yeah, if we don't have Die or Seed, our hand might be it just might contain Rivalry or Imperm, and it probably is enough to win games. Like, I think this hand's enough to win games going first, and this hand's also enough to win games going second. And in the end phase, Petal comes back, and then we can kind of try and go from full combo through there. So what do we have? We've only got a Sheet to tribute 2, but we have 2 Imperm and Rivalry here. Let's see if there's any hands to go through. I think this sounds an interesting one, and this is one we're stuck on sewing. Like I said, like going second, we have mine plus talents, and we also see a Sith card, which does tend to help. Yeah, Impermanent. We're breaking boards, like a combination of those cards tend to help. So what would I go? I'll go Patel here. Do you play around hand traps? Maybe? Let me see. If we add Princess here... Yeah, I think we add Princess here. This is what I would do. This is one of the weaker hands, but I know people will tend to be on like one sew-in, but this is the reason why I tend to like two. So I would go for... I would special on Princess and go for Dryas. Now we have Princess to be able to negate, and like if they were to Ash here, we can tribute Petal and negate with Princess. So since we don't have what's the word? Since we don't have a Loci in our graveyard, we just special summon a Loci because Twin does nothing here. And then we use Dryas effect to special summon Thrasher. So this is like one of our weaker hands, but there's just not many very weak hands with this deck going first and going second. Well, into like the previous format of Sprite and Tears, the one I was going into Euros with, I just had a lot of strong hands going first and going second. I think which was one of the big reasons which I was able to win going first. So we're at the same state again. You know, I'm sure you guys are sick of seeing the same board, but yeah, we're back to our position with Healer Search and Jasmine Tribute, and we already have established Princess Engrave, and so we can try and negate Olga, which is alright. So what do we want to look out for? We want Mudan and we want Snowdrop. Well, we don't have a level 4, which is which isn't the best. Like with this hand, we don't have a level 4. It's not the worst. Yeah, but it's not the best, and I do value Sheet. I don't want to use Sheet to yeah. I don't want to add Glamour. I want to add Sheet, but I'll just add Snowdrop. Do we even need a Snowdrop? Yeah, I think we add Snowdrop because we have Patel Tribute. Let's push on Mudan. Add Con, set the Sheet. Then we tribute 1, special summon Snowdrop and Petal. Make 8 for Teardrop. And this is where we make Melius and Bengalancer. Yeah, so we have Sheet, Con, Teardrop, Bengalancer, and Princess. So even the average hands tend to end on 5 pieces of interruptions, with Petal as follow-up and Con. So like yeah, it's just enough to win games. Like even if they do clear it, there's just a lot of stuff they have to deal with after they clear our monsters, and it was just one of the reasons why I was able to win a lot of games. Like I know people said they don't really read the cards, but the Rika cards themselves are really good if you use them efficiently. And I think, yeah, I've gone through a lot of hands today. I'm sure there's a lot more stuff I could go through going first. So like, what's it called? In further videos, I plan to do either specific, I'll say side decking into Sprite / Tears, breaking Sprite and Tear boards. These are like more videos, breaking Sprite, breaking Tear boards. There's like a different deck list that you can play. So this is the board breaker build, but we can, instead of playing Mystic Mind and Talents, we can, yeah, I'll show you the hand trap version of the deck. Oh well, so the hand trap version of the deck, breaking Sprite and Tears, side decking into Sprite and Tears, and it's also like niche interactions. Yeah, niche interactions. So there's like a list of stuff that I wrote just when I was playing the deck and all the misplays. I took note of all the misplays I made, and yeah, I'm pretty sure there's like two more videos with the deck that I could show. But I'll say this is it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed the combo video. Yeah, if there's anything that I missed out or you want me to elaborate more on, just put it on in the comment section. And yeah, like and subscribe. Talk to you guys soon.